So this is my how-to speech, and I will be showing you guys how to professionally clean jewelry and belts. The reason I'll be showing you guys this is because, like, it's a huge problem. People go into jewelry stores, they pay a bunch of money to have their stuff cleaned, and it's ridiculous. Why pay money for something you could do yourself? So, to begin with, if you'll come around here, the stuff you will need is Windex, hydrogen peroxide, which is optional, dish soap, a bowl large enough to fit your jewelry, and then another small container. Again, this is optional. Toothbrush and a towel. And as you can see, I've already used this towel multiple times. Alright, so to start off, we're going to start with chains and rings and watches. So what you're going to do is you're going to get everything laid out on your towel first off, and make sure, I have already done this, but make sure you unclip all your jewelry. You don't want it done up, because then it doesn't get as much, it doesn't get all the chain, and it just makes everything gets all tangled. So you want everything unclipped. You know, just lay it down all on the table, like so. And then another thing is to make sure that pendants are off the chain, because, again, they get tangled and it just makes life a bunch easier. So, hold of that, grab the chains. And then bracelets also unclipped. And then pendants. And this method of cleaning works with diamonds. It won't ruin your rings or anything. Alright. So now what you're going to do is, if you'll come over here, what you're going to do, and you're going to get not hot, but it's going to be pretty warm water. So we'll just let this run. And another thing is, I wear gloves. You don't need gloves, but as you can see just from handling, they're dirty. It's kind of gross. So I prefer gloves. So we'll just let this get hot. And then you're going to fill up your bowl. About there should be good. Bring it back over here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take and put dish soap into it. About that should be good. And I just guesstimate when putting this stuff in. I don't have no measurements or anything. That takes too much time, I think. I'm just going to mix up, make sure you get all the soap mixed into it. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to drop everything in there. Now, we're not going to put the watch in because, you know, water, watches, doesn't really mix good. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some of the soapy water on the toothbrush, like so, and we're just going to scrub the watch. And this is a water-resistant watch, so it helps. It makes it easier. But this will work with normal watches as well. You just gotta be careful. We're just gonna scrub, and we're gonna make sure we get the inside of the watch too, because that's where your sweaty wrists are all the time. Make sure you get the back. And then what we're going to do is just dip, not the watch itself, but the band of the watch. We're going to dip it into the water, shake it around, get all that soapy water off as best as possible. And we'll just dry this off with the towel. We'll let that air dry for now. We'll let it air dry for about 30 minutes. And while that's air drying, we'll let these sit in here for about 30 minutes as well. And so while we do that, I'll real quick show you guys how to clean the belt. So the belt, I'm going to take it out of its package, of course. Now with belts, if you have a leather belt like I do, you don't want to get any water on the belt, or on the leather, because water ruins the leather. So what I'm going to do is you just take the loop, this piece, off, and just slides right off. And then I like to take the toothbrush, get some of the soap water on it, and just hold it over the towel and just brush. And you're going to try to keep as much water off of the leather as you can. So we're just going to brush. We're going to brush. We're doing our best to keep the water off the leather. Put that back. And then we just dry it off with the towel. Make sure you get really dry, best you can. And now, we let this air dry as well. And so while we're letting all this stuff dry and soak, I'm going to go and I'm going to show you guys how, if you have them, to clean grills. Now, these things, I don't wear them a lot because they're like somewhat uncomfortable. But the grills, what we're going to do is, the grill's got two main parts, the grill itself and the mold. So the grill itself, we can just sit in here and let it soak with those. For this is where our little container and hydrogen peroxide come in handy. So what we're going to do is, we're going to just move the belt out of the way for now. Set this stuff down, and we're going to take this container and just fill it up with hydrogen peroxide. And the reason we use hydrogen peroxide instead of dish soap is A, we don't like the taste of dish soap, or hydrogen peroxide for that matter, but B, this helps get rid of any smell if you have bad breath. So what we're going to do is we're just going to let that soak. And we're going to let that soak for about 15 minutes or so. And I'll have to wait the 15 minutes, but for you guys it'll happen right about now. Alright, so now we're back. It's been about 30 minutes-ish. So now, first things first, we want to get this belt out of the way. So it looks pretty dry to me. I'll give it one more quick, just wipe down. Just to make sure, and then put it away. Into this bag. And that's the belt done. Alright, so now, move that out of the way and just try this area off. We're going to move on to here. As you can see, the water is already pretty nasty looking, so what we're going to do is we're just going to grab each piece, get the toothbrush soaked up, we're just going to scrub it. dip it back in the water, shake it around, and set it down. And so you'll do this for every piece, and it's okay to do it with the diamonds. They won't pop out or anything. If they do, that sucks. But yeah, I'll be right back when this is done. Alrighty, so now that we've got all of them brushed and laid out, we can just fold this right on over, let them dry, kind of pat them down a little bit, you know. As you can see, it's been a minute since I cleaned them. If you come around over here, you can see just the importance of cleaning your chains. This is how dirty your chains can get, and I'm pretty sure the last time I cleaned them was like 3-4 weeks ago. As you can see, pretty disgusting, pretty dirty. Yeah, pretty dirty. You gotta make sure you rinse out your bowl. Alright, so now we're going to let those air dry for about 15 minutes, and while we're doing that, let's get our mold back over here. What we're going to do is we'll use the same toothbrush, make sure you rinse it out, as not to have any of that dish soap on it. So now we'll just grab our mold. It's been soaking in there for a minute. Dip this into the hydrogen peroxide. We're just going to brush like so. Make sure I get both sides. We'll flip it around. And once we do that, we'll come back over to the sink and just rinse it off. Get all the hydrogen peroxide off of it because we don't want it to be on there. It'll ruin your mold. Alright. And then just come back over here with the towels and sit down in here and let it dry. We'll let that dry with the rest of the chains for about 15 minutes or so. And so, yeah, I'll see y'all when that's done. Alright, so the 15 minutes is up. I'm going to take the towel off. Everything's all air dried. We'll just take the towel and pat it down, make sure everything's dry. Move it on over out of the way. Just pat everything down. Make sure to get the inside of the rings as well as the outside. Alright. Now, we're going to just throw the pendants back onto the chains. See which one is which. Okay. Just throw the pendants back onto the chains. And now we are about done. There's just one more thing we need to do with the watch, which is why we're getting all these off the towels, or off the towel. The watch face, the glass part, we're going to get some Windex, right? Just put a little bit, about that much. Just use your finger, wipe around, get the entire face, the entire glass face of the watch. Then we'll go ahead and take and dry it off. Make sure when you're wiping off the Windex, do it in a circular motion, because then it goes in with the glass. And that is everything. And this video has been how to professionally clean your jewelry. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.